right. I gotta admit, you got me today. You got me today. We are. I don't like being late. I don't like being late. I rather. I don't. I just don't like being late. It is Friday. Let me change this. It is Friday, April 16th. You got it? Okay. Friday, April 16th. I am Paul Dozier. I am your host. This is show number 15, even though I haven't changed it. I'm changing it now. Hey, listen, I did the best I could to get here on time. I was a minute off. You know I hate to be late. But I got off into the research and I just stayed there. I couldn't help myself. Say what you want. Miss Jacobs is right. That screen is way too white. I got to figure out how to change that and make that less white. But I turned on the lights in the back to try to get more lights, but I have 3 rings here. I hope you're doing well. This is the last day of the week. It has been, and you're not going to believe me when I say this, it's just been amazing. And I don't say that by faith. I say that truly because, you know, a lot of things are changing and that sort of thing. We got to turn Facebook Live on. I promised them I would do this. But things are changing. It is amazing. Good things are happening. For me, for the family, for my clients. And so I'm happy to bring... Listen, you're going to be happy because I'm coming completely out of the history, understanding your market, and I think we're not going to do the TV today. The history, understanding your market, and the demographic. I'm not gonna touch on that. I'm gonna touch on some more. We're gonna start getting into some more technical aspects of what to do in starting a business. Just touching on some technical aspects, because I'm only gonna do about 5 or 6 more videos on the business side. And then after that, we're going to move into some other aspects that I really want to touch on personally of what this broadcast is really, really all about. But black business is a major component of why I do this. So, the reason why I really wanted to touch on the history and also understanding your market is because this is the stuff, again, we don't like to get into, but I think it's necessary to understand your history, understand your market, understand that you can't do anything without a team. And I think it's extremely important that you understand that you have to have a particular mindset for this. And as I explained yesterday when we were talking about Black Wall Street I think I came from a different perspective. I think I did. I think I came from the perspective of seeing what lessons we could be gleaned off of the Black Wall Street experience by looking at 2 of the central figures of Black Wall Street. And the reason why I think that that's important is to understand it from their perspective, where they were coming from. So that there's a famous saying in the Bible, and again, I don't know your beliefs, but I personally have been changed and metamorphosized by the Word of God. It has been something that has been significant in my life. And in the Word of God, um, it makes the suggestion that change comes by two different things. Major change comes by two different things. That's by the word of the Lamb. That's like by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. Now, the spiritual part of that, the blood of the Lamb, some people believe in, some people don't. Some people believe it from a different perspective, maybe that of Hinduism, Taoism, all these other things, fine. But the principles are, I believe, singularly true for every human being, that we are made whole by our experiences in this life that can be explained to somebody else who may be going through or will be faced with the same experience, which is a testimony. That's what I call a testimony. Explained a little different maybe, but that's a testimony. And the blood of the Lamb, which is the time and space to learn and make mistakes and be forgiven. That's what affords experience. If you've ever run across anyone that is very unforgiving, you will know what I mean by needing time and space to grow and to gain a testimony. So it's by other people's testimony and my own testimony that I share with you certain things so that you may have the time and space to grow. And I think that's what studying history is all about, is learning from other people's perspective, their time and space, how they were able to grow. And I think from the experience of looking at those two gentlemen out of Black Wall Street, Stratford is one name I forget. That I got. I think by looking at their experience and seeing how educated and how focused and how driven they were before they landed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is a great thing to understand. There are no overnight successes. So it is important that when you're building a business or a family or a community organization, that you're doing it based upon history. That's the reason why I think it's so important to acknowledge the ancients and the elders that come before you. Because we're all building on someone else's back. Whether we acknowledge it or not is a completely different thing. But those who are successful will acknowledge the deeds of those who came before them. Because innovation is not based on some secret thing. It's based upon historic data and components. Innovation is not a brand new thing. It is something that has been changed into a new thing from something that was already established. Which is another reason why I love the Word of God, because it says there is nothing new under the sun. It's true. There is nothing new under the sun. So innovation comes from understanding your history and your market and the people groups, the economy that you're interested in being involved with. That's the reason. That's the reason I'm trying to speak in a way and throw in some of these business terms that some of us have either misconstrued or have never heard of in the first place. And saying it in such a way and being repetitive, yes. And being repetitive, yes. Yes, I'm being repetitive. But understanding that, listen, you have an idea, you should be pursuing your idea. But your idea has to be based on something. Sometimes pursuing your idea just means writing down some goals. Sometimes, remember the old movie Karate Kid, Wax On, Wax Off? Sometimes you're supposed to be starting off with something so basic with your idea that it doesn't seem like it's connected. It doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the launching and the success of this major idea that you have in your mind. And so for that reason, because a lot of people don't want to go through the steps of accomplishing a goal, they put it off because what their spirit is telling them is to get to Z, you really have to do A, B, and C. A lot of people don't want to do the ABCs. They just want the Z's. So they procrastinate. Or they run to H. Usually cheating to get there. And are shocked they got to go right back to A, B, and C's. Because when you get to H, all you're doing is you're going to discover the ABCs anyway, and you can't sustain yourself at H until you learn your ABCs. So if you start off with the ABCs, and which is what I've really tried to do with this lesson, I've really tried to start you off with the ABCs. Why make the mistakes I've already made? Why make the mistakes that other people have already made? Why not learn from the ancients? Why not learn from the elders? Don't make the mistakes. If they're showing you how to do it in a faster fashion than they were able to do. That's the beauty of a testimony. Man, I wish I understood that when I was in my 20s. The beauty of a testimony is especially if you listen to it over and over again, a person's testimony over and over again. When I was growing up, I hated reading. Hated it. Didn't like reading. And mainly because I didn't understand what I was reading anyway. I liked writing as long as I could write poetry. But if it came down to making a commitment to write something of any great substance, it wasn't something that I was really interested in doing. Not at all. Not really. So the idea is understanding what other people have experienced, stand on their shoulders, accomplish what they were not able to accomplish by learning from them, listening to the stories over and over again, reading over and over again. I think that's important. So we're going to move on from the history. We're going to move on from market research. We're going to move on from understanding your demographics. And we're going to move into, and this will be a short day. So this will be a short class. But we're going to move into some just basic things. Understanding that the things that we talked about are not optional. Understanding that you are going to have to learn how to trust yourself. Understanding that you're going to have to learn the difference between what being self-employed is and a business. So I hope you've learned since you've been here. But there is a difference between being self-employed, being a business owner, and being employed. And I tell people you're never unemployed. You're never unemployed. Never. Never. Never, never. Never, never, never. There is no such thing as being unemployed. You may be working out your idea, but even if you're not working for someone else's enterprise, while you're working on your own enterprise, you're working to do some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. It's important to set up your business. I hope you understand that. It's important to develop your business and decide what type of business model you have, whether you're going to create a completely new model, or if you're going to do a franchise. Understanding that. I hope you understand that business ownership reduces poverty. That it's going to be on us to reduce poverty in our communities. I hope you understand that. I hope you understand that the purpose of going into business is to have a positive impact, is to have major impact in your community. I hope you understand that. I hope you understand that your impact is based upon your purpose in life. So there needs to be some soul searching before you go into business. Now, a lot of people are self-employed and still trying to figure out what it is that they want to do with their life. But once you go into business, you have to understand purpose. You have to understand the impact that you want to make. I hope you understand that this is a different mindset, and that perspective, perception, and prospective are important. Prospective, perception. Go back and listen if you don't understand what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm saying that for real. Just listen to it. Just give it a chance. And then 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show yourself approved. Especially if you find yourself in a space right now when you're trying to figure it out. Don't discount this. I hope you understand that the reason why you need to trust yourself is that you must develop a team. Some people would call that a family. I personally call it a family. My family is my team. I gave you the example of the lady that owns Apple One, whose executive team, and she's a billionaire, since that's the measurement that a lot of people like to hear, and there's nothing wrong with that. But her family is her executive team. She owns 51% of the company, and her children own 49% of the company. She's a billionaire. A lot of people like to hear that. She's a billionaire. She's a billionaire. Okay, fine. She's a billionaire. And so that whole notion that you can't work with family is not true. People will say that, and this is me talking. People say things like that to make you distrust your family, to divide you. Do not allow people to divide your family. Now, who is your family? Your family is whomever you choose. Because I got some family members who aren't much family. And I've got some people I've known for a few years who are closer to me than people I've known for 30 years. I've got some clients that are more family to me than, treat me with, and my measurement is love and respect. That's my measurement. And specifically for a man, we want to be respected. But understand, your team has to be your family. In a certain, at least, in a certain respect. They don't have to be the closest members, but they got to be, people that you eat with, that you, for me, is have a scotch with, smoke a cigar with every once in a while. Somebody I'll call and just for the sake of calling, just say, hey, how you doing? One guy I can't use his name, but he's a client as well. But I've known him for 3 years, and he's a tough guy. He's a very, very tough guy. I love him though. He's 67 years old. He's a real estate investor, has his own business, and I've learned just by talking to him and being around him. He doesn't have to tell me, sir. I just like he's sick. He works his butt off, and he has a massive heart for his family. His family doesn't know it. but because he's already gotten to this place in life where he understands that, and we've had these conversations where you can only spend so much money and do so much. The goal is to surround yourself with people whom you love, and people whom love you, and people whom you respect, and people whom have respect for you. Some of us don't want to live getting into arguments with people for the rest of our life, or around people who constantly question what our motives are. I had a mentor that questioned what my motives were all the time, and it gets unnerving. Not because I second guess myself. That person is actually telling on themselves. A person that questions your motives have bad motives, especially when your motives are good. But you have to build a team, which means you need to open yourself up and deal with your own personal issues. I'm talking about starting a business, whether you know it or not. I'm talking about starting something that's going to be long-lasting. That you're not going to have to work once you develop your team, and that you'll have a brand that is known. At least mine will be. Whether whoever sits in this chair will have my values. Well, they won't be sitting in this chair, but you know what I mean. Whoever works with me in my company, in any one of my companies, will know my values, know what I stand for, and won't have to figure it out because they'll know, because they're my family. I hope you understand that in developing your language in whatever field that you're interested in is of major importance. You have to learn the language and then make it your own. Uh-oh, I done messed up. Sorry about this, guys. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Facebook Live, I might have to lose you. Sorry. We'll see if that'll work, but we'll see. Hopefully that'll stay. So you have to learn a language. So if you want to be an attorney, you have to learn law, but you have to learn still learn the language of the community that you're interested in being a lawyer for. Nia says, I do farming and homesteading. That's awesome. You know exactly what it is that you want to do. Learn that language. Learn everything about it. Learn the history of it. What country are you in? Be on Facebook Live. I hope you understand that you must understand economics and what economics are. You don't have to be an economist, but you have to understand what economics are. I hope you understand that you have to change your mindset. I hope you understand that you have to have realistic expectations. In other words, you're not trying to jump from a Nissan Sentra all the way up to a Rolls Royce tomorrow. I hope you understand that you have to build people, that you can't. You're not going to get Jeff Bezos as a business partner. The majority of us won't. That you have to collaborate. And you have to be pretty selfless to start a business as well. And I hope you understand that you have to keep language simple to attract people. I hope you understand also that there's power in division. This is just as this power and multiplication. An algorithm is the art of dividing. I don't know if you understand that. You have to learn the rhythms, you have to learn algorithms and the laws of algorithms to understand how to even get people to see your brand. So there's power in division. I hope you understand that competition is not for owners. Competition is for players. And that you're an owner, which is the reason why collaboration is more powerful for you. I hope you understand that you are a visionary and that you should trust your vision. And now we're just going to get down to some basics. Okay, I've spent quite a few shows talking about very philosophical things, and we're just going to talk about some basics. I don't know if you know who Jim Rome is, but Jim Rome is a motivational speaker specifically from the 70s. He was one of the guys that taught Tony Robbins, who is today's big motivational speaker, also a billionaire. He says, never begin the day until it is finished on paper. Now, I'm going to add something to that. Not only do you never finish the day or never begin the day until something is finished on paper, and this is the part I don't think this is something that people may debate me on. But the thing that you're doing today should have been on paper a long time ago. Figured out. I knew I would be doing this a long time ago. So not only never start a day before it being on paper, have it on paper for a long time, because it may take you a long time just to get to what this day looks like as well. So in other words, you have to have daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, life goals, whatever. Again, another reason why I love the Bible. It says, write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. Now, I didn't understand until I'm sitting here why I took kind of an interest in this. Until I started really studying it, and I spent quite a bit of time studying it. You make your vision plain, you write it down, and what's interesting, it doesn't say that you're going to run with it. This scripture, Habakkuk 2:2. And again, I personally get my spiritual truths, from the Bible. So that might be a problem with some people. I hope not. But I believe in the Word of God. I do. I think there's so many spiritual truths because I've read so many motivational books, and I find they're saying the same thing that the Bible was saying. So I just stick with the Bible. Because I don't need to be self-motivated. I'm already self-motivated. I already believe in what I'm doing. Life really is a big chess game. Well, for some of you, Mahjong. But I don't know how to play Mahjong. I just don't. I know how to play chess a little bit. But you write the vision, make it plain, so that someone else can run with it. And the person who is running with it is the herald. And I wanted to find out what a herald was. Now, I promised you I was going to keep this simple, and I am, but it's very important that you understand the purpose of writing down your vision. It is a historic reason for doing it. And the main reason why is that vision is tied to your family destiny. And it has to be accepted by the king. And then the herald does what the king says and spreads the news about your crest, your family crest. It becomes real to the society that you're in. So it's important that you write your vision down, show it to the Herald. The Herald is a member of a team underneath the king. In other words, people really need to see your vision that are empowered. But it's not just a matter of you going out there. You have to have mentors, contemporaries, if you will, and people that you're bringing with you. And you have to recognize the ancients. The mentors are those who are in position to help you with your business idea. But it has to be simple enough or plain enough, and it has to be written down so that a herald or someone in power can look at it and run with it. You will be backed up by people who believe in your vision, but it has to be simple. That's why I say don't focus so much on your widget. Focus on building your team, finding your mentors. But there are people out there with worse widgets than you. But they have a good team and they have great mentors. So you need a herald. You need a herald. You need someone who can run with your vision. This person running with your vision, as it's been told, are the people, and I've heard, because I've heard this and I've read this. I've heard people speak about this on stage, specifically at churches. It's not your contemporaries that are running with your vision. It's the representatives of the king. Or that's old school. Let me put it like this. It's the representatives of the business leaders in your community, in the economy that you're interested in being involved with. They're going to hear about this business model that you have. And they're going to find it fascinating. And then they are going to tell the king about it. And the herald will approve. Well, there's a person over the herald too. The herald is kind of junior. It's kind of sandwiched in between being a junior and having a junior. And I really hope you understand this. This is not all type and shadow. This is just how business works. In fact, this is how life works. You have to surround yourself with the right people who are empowered to look at what you're doing, because they will make a decision on whether your business model fits with their vision as well. We're just a whole bunch of visionaries looking for other visionaries to fit in with our vision. You know, I like this quote from Spike Lee. He says, I ain't Martin Luther King, I need a plan. Strike that. I ain't Martin Luther King, I have a plan. I think that's good. You know, Brian Tracy says, a clear vision backed by definite plans give you a tremendous feeling of confidence and personal power. And I believe that. I have a clear vision, and because I have a clear vision that is backed by definite plans. Just ask the people around me. I mean, I don't think anyone around me, you know how people get into a conversation with you because they think they're kind of wondering what's going on with you. And then they start talking to you like, oh, and I hear this often. I say, oh, wow. And this is what I hear. Oh, wow, you definitely have a plan, don't you? Yes. Yes. Listen, when I was in the car business, and I tell you guys these stories all the time, but, at a certain point, you'll string them all together. I came to California to raise my daughter. I got a job. I was on a bus. I looked outside the Greyhound bus with 3 garbage bags, and I'd already eaten the 3 sandwiches I had, and I hated peanut butter and jelly, but that's what I had. It was 1988. My daughter was already born. I was upset. I got to Southern California in August, I think August the 5th of 1988. My daughter was born July the 27th. I'm looking out the door. Looking out the window. I'm thinking I'm in Colorado on the side of a mountain. I might be maybe Utah. I think it's Colorado. On the side of a mountain. I said, gee, what am I going to do? And I said, I guess I'll sell cars. Because I sold cars for a short time. I had a bad experience in Chicago with R.L. Duke's Oldsmobile. Never forget him. Sold a contract to Apple Rent-A-Car, and he didn't pay me because I was only 17 and he got me. Because I was just making cold calls. And I came out here, I started selling cars, and I kept setting goals, accomplishing those goals. Still didn't like, I didn't like what I was doing. I became a finance manager. I worked at, I was an assistant manager, what they call a closer. I almost became a sales manager, didn't like really, and then after that I was like, I really don't, because they would let me practice. Bonaparte, Hyundai, Isuzu, Pontiac, small organization. And listen, I was making a lot of money for me, because I came from, kind of came from poverty, but my mother was middle class. But, my cousins grew up in the projects. I spent more time there, even though they didn't really like me. But in going through all those things, I had to discover who I was. So when I got to California, I started going to church. Dr. Frederick K.C. Price tried to get myself involved there, but couldn't fit in with the crowd because I was ignorant. I didn't know how to make friends and that sort of thing. Didn't know how to do any of those things. I was an insecure kid at 20 years old, even though I had a mortgage company back when I was in Chicago. Well, I didn't have the mortgage, but my mentor died. Kind of liked doing that because I was a territory rep. So I came out here. In fact, it eventually became a territory rep in the car business, working in finance. But I started going to church and found out that I was ignorant, that I didn't understand things, and I started studying the Word of God with a concordance, a dictionary, and a Bible. Found out who I was. Oh my God! And I just lit up. And was just zealous, and I read the Bible a few times. I studied every book in the Bible. I went to Bible college, or like a private school of ministry. After that, did a missionary program with Baron and Lisa Gilfillan with International School of Ministry. Got a bachelor's degree in theological studies. And then I just started studying everything. I got a license, a real estate license, a pest control license. Of course, I have an insurance license. I have a securities license now. And then I started writing books and that sort of thing and finding out who I was. But once I found out who I was, I had no doubt that the goal that I had, which was to help people start their businesses and ministries back in 1998, was going to happen. I had no idea that I would have to study as much as I have, but I'm doing what I want to do. I am successful. That is my testimony. So you have to want to go through the process. I hope you follow me on this. You have to want to go through the process of accomplishing your goal, getting rid of all your insecurities, trusting yourself, and everything I talked about. General George Patton says, a good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week. You have to want it. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. That's Warren Buffett. So what I would like to do from this point is share with you how I accomplished every single one of my goals. Now, I've already gave you some basics that are completely necessary, but let me give you some extreme basics. Number one, you have to have a mission statement. Now, it's as simple as that sounds. It ain't simple. I wish it was. It's not simple to have a mission statement. I've been holding on to my same mission statement for a long time. However, my mission statement for my company has been simplified. My mission statement for my life's goal has been to help people with their businesses and ministries. That's been for over 20 years. 1998, that's 2 years plus one more year, that's 3 years. That's 23 years. My mission statement today is create your own reality. Same mission statement, said differently. The Coca-Cola mission statement is to inspire moments of, I'm running out of time. To inspire moments of optimism and happiness, to create value and make a difference. That's the Coca-Cola Company. It's not a long, drawn-out thing, a mission statement. But you have to have a mission statement. If it wasn't important, why would Coca-Cola have a mission statement? Amazon's we aim to be Earth's most customer-centric company. Now, whether they've accomplished it or not, or are on their way to accomplishing it or not, is immaterial. Their goals are accomplishable on a daily basis. Not their vision, their goal. Accomplished on a daily basis. Mine is create your own reality. Theirs aim to be Earth's most customer-centric company. The Coca-Cola Company inspire moments of optimism and happiness. Facebook, to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. So you have to have a mission statement. Now, the wording may change over the years, but when you know who you are, the mission will never change. And I want you to see that the mission statement is selfless. It's selfless. It's not about you. To inspire moments of optimism and happiness, to create value and make a difference. Not to get rich or die trying. That's just a movie. And I'm scared of 50 Cent. So I don't want 50 Cent calling me and calling me out. I wouldn't mind him calling me. We need funding. I have a business plan. But listen, it's selfless. When you're going into business, it's all about your team and the vision. We aim to be Earth's most customer-centric company. That's Amazon. Give people the power to build community. Give people the power to... Now you can, that's Facebook. You can debate whether they're doing it or not, or if they're true to their mission. You may or may not agree. That's besides the point. but they have one. You have to have one. Before you step out and do anything, have a mission statement. Number two, you have to have a vision statement. My vision statement is success is possible for everyone. We only need to understand how it works. Information on how success works is not easily available to make the right decisions. Where do we find it? We share time-tested principles and processes to build generational wealth for families and businesses. That's my vision statement. eBay starts off with their mission statement. We empower people and create economic opportunity. Oftentimes, the mission statement is inside of the vision statement. There's this one church that I know of that says, we're bringing a living Jesus to a dying world. That's the mission statement that's actually incorporated, that's actually drawn out of his vision statement. I don't remember his vision statement, but I do remember his mission statement. And then eBay says, they're a global commerce leader that connects millions of buyers and sellers around the world. We exist to enable economic opportunity. And I hope you remember my definition of economic. Economic opportunity for individuals, entrepreneurs, businesses, and organizations of all sizes. Our portfolio of brands include eBay Marketplace, eBay Classified Groups, operating in 190 markets around the world. Now, the reason why I wanted to read all of the eBays is I wanted you to see that, how the vision changes. I should have wrote down Southwest Airlines because they have a great mission and vision statement. But see how eBay's they make sure they change it, because they mentioned their portfolio of brands, which always changes, and the number of markets they are in, which always changes as well. Yes, Pastor Martinez, I remember you. I remember you. He says, I love what you said about finding yourself after many years. You came to my office to sell me pest control services by Terminex, and I still keep them because of you. And I can remember you every month. I just finished my doctorate degree in Pepperdine in educational leadership organization. I love your coaching side. God bless you in this new adventure. We can talk later on. You got it, Felipe. God bless you. That was many years ago. Apple's vision. We believe that we are on the face of the earth to make great products, and that's not changing. We are here to make the best products on earth and to leave the world better than we found it. I mean, that's what a great vision statement. Their vision statement, quite frankly, reads a lot like a mission statement. Some of you guys probably heard that coming, but it does. It reads just like a mission statement. Google's is to provide access to the world's information in one click. That's powerful. That is powerful, and they're doing it too. And listen, I don't want to overwhelm you, but there's so many things that, and we'll talk about it, and we're going to just keep it basic like this from this point forward, because I only want to do about 5 more of these. But I'm going to constantly remind you of some of the things that I have said, because it's important that you don't lose sight of what economics is. You don't lose sight of the overall purpose of being in business. You don't lose sight of the importance of building a team and having and learning how to trust yourself. You don't lose sight of the importance of starting at the beginning and choosing people to work with you who also can start at the beginning with you, and you grow together. These things are not optional. Now, once you become established, there will be people who will come with more experience. You know why? Because then you have more experience. But it's very important that you start somewhere. Now I'm going to touch on this a little bit, but we'll talk more about this next week, Monday. So I hope you join me. And by the way, pcdozier.com / the broadcast, pcdozier.com / the broadcast. Share this if this is helpful. Share this with somebody. I don't say that selfishly. This we do this for free. In fact, I'm serious about this. If God brings me an editor, someone who really wants to edit this stuff and put it in the back of the website and charge 49 cents for it, we'll do that because people who pay for things tend to appreciate things more. This stuff is good. This stuff is good. I want to touch on the importance of understanding what your model is. Your model is not your mission and vision statement. Your model is who you are in one sentence. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. For most people. Now, if you have experience, it is very easy to do. But when you're getting started, which is who this is for, and by the way, so let me tell you what my demographic is, so you understand. My brother Felipe kind of showed you right there. He's my age range, studying for his doctorate degree. Age 54 to about 65, 67 years old. There are exceptions on both sides. I like talking to the ones that are in their 30s and 40s, but they like to challenge you because they want to see if you're real or not. And I honestly, beyond the novelty of doing it, it gets a little old. When you're in your 50s and 60s, people will challenge you, but once you show that you have the depth of understanding, they're ready to move on because we don't have a whole bunch of time to waste. Now we do want you. We do in our 50s and 60s. We do want to see that you're time tested. So in other words, we won't waste your time, but we will sit back and watch you for a number of years if necessary. If we're really uncomfortable with you, but we'll come back around to you. But we won't waste your time like kids in their 30s and not kids. I'm sorry, that's not what I mean. Like adults in their 30s and 40s. Who just want to push and see how, that sort of thing. So my demographic is those people from like 50, 54, 55 years old, early 50s up to about 60, 67 years old. Again, some exceptions on both sides. We have already probably retired or done something significant. We've raised our kids. I have grandkids. Some people have grandkids. The majority of the people, now I'm not married, but technically I'm not married, but I can't seem to get rid of my daughter's mother. My sister for life. No, she's one of my best friends, and even when her family didn't like me, she treated me well once she discovered who I was. So she's still my family, and my beautiful daughter and my sons. They're my stepsons, but they're my sons. I love them like they're my sons. And I've got 6 or 7 grandchildren. My daughter keeps telling me 7. Even got a great grandchild. That's my demographic. We are not uncomfortable in our skins. We know who we are. We know what we like. We know what we don't like. But Understanding who you are is a major part of what you, and who you attract is a major part of what you need to discover to understand what your model is. My model is a business strategist slash consultant, Paul C. Dozier LLC, which is my corporate name. I do business as PCD Strategies, PCD Wealth Strategies, which is my media company. PCD Wealth Strategies, my media company. Some people think it has something to do with finance. It doesn't have anything to do with finance. Let me put that on the record, because I have business people listening to this as well. So we partner with other business professionals who are dedicated and have a passion to provide products and services to our target market or groups. I surround myself with professionals so that the people that come to me will be assured that they're going to get the best services. What do you do? What is it tied up into, for me, is create your own reality, or helping people set up their business and ministries, which is the way it started off. Now is create your reality. What do you do? How do you go about doing it? That's your model. We'll talk more about that next week, Monday through Friday. And we'll, as we go down this list of things that you need if you're going to have a successful business. These are not strange things that I'm talking to you about, but they are things that a lot of people try to get around and feel like, well, I don't need all that. What I need to do is I just need to, create this widget, and I know somebody. I used to feel that way. In fact, when I started representing a finance company, I just thought, oh, I know a whole bunch of people in the car business. I'm just going to walk into their offices and they're just going to give me all their business. I didn't realize they had their own relationships. They had their own people that they trust. I just thought, oh, they like me, I like them. They're just going to give me all their. That's not the way it works. You have to go in sober-minded, when you're creating something, and have a command of your product or service. So you have to know what your model is. So these things that I'm giving you are basic in a lot of respects, but they're very necessary in building your business. PCDDozier.com, the broadcast, /the broadcast, also on YouTube, Paul Dozier Media. Or you can just type in the Paul C. Dozier broadcast. You can get to me that way as well over on YouTube. And I always forget to sign out, but I want to sign out. I got this from my bishop, who quotes, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou may prosper in being health, even as your soul prosper," or thy soul is what it says, but you know what I mean. But I tag on this part too, and also that you will come to know the God in you. Bless you.